But this idea, like every American born gets $1,000 put into a Vanguard
it's a friend
account.
of ours, Brad Gerstner, with this Invest America is the concept.
And regardless if the concept is good or not, the emotional connectivity to the success of American industry is really important. When you know at 22 that you could get this thing that's been compounding for 22 years, you could pay off some college loans, you could put something down on a house, you could pay for trade school, whatever it is. I think you have a different energy towards America and its success. And then you have a lot less of these kids who are just like, America's this horrible place and capitalism is bad. Yeah, capitalism is bad when you're left behind. When you're invested in capitalism, it's
great,
the shit, baby.
Absolutely. We're on the express train.
Well, if the Republicans pull this one off, it is good night, Irene, for the Democrats. And what am I talking about? In that initial clip, what you saw there was the comedian Andrew Schultz on a panel. And it's a panel of wealthy investors. Those guys all together were worth billions of dollars on that financial panel where they talk about domestic economics, global economics, and investing. And what they were talking about is an initiative that Ted Cruz and the Republicans are already creating a framework for. It is the Invest America Act. And what it is that at birth, every American-born child, an American citizen child, gets $1,000 put into an investment account. And it just grows and builds over the child's life until the child is, I believe, 21 or 22 years old. But let's get off into it, and then I'll let you hear directly from Senator Ted Cruz himself, because I think something like this, what it does, can you imagine young people growing up with a more vested interest in America, in American economics? They want to learn about investing. They want to learn about compound interest. They want to learn about interest rates. They want to learn about economic markets, both domestic and foreign. Let's think about it right now. In a lot of high schools, kids are graduating and they don't even know how to do grade level math, let alone economics or macroeconomics or any of those things. So let's get into this, and then I'll get into showing you what Senator Cruz had to say. So Ted Cruz wants Uncle Sam to give each American baby $1,000. The proposal comes as the U.S. national debt is more than $36 trillion. Senator Ted Cruz has introduced a proposal for the federal government to provide $1,000 in an account for every American child. The Invest America Act would create a private tax advantage account with a $1,000 seed investment from the federal government for every American child at birth, according to a press release. People would also be able to add funds to the account. Each Invest America account will be open to contributions from individuals, family members, friends, and businesses up to $5,000 annually. These release states, because it's invested in America. So people, just to avoid people just taking advantage of it, because it's probably going to be in a pretty good investment account, you know, earning its money and its interest. And so to avoid people utilizing that and throwing money in, taking advantage of the investment, you can only contribute up to $5,000 annually. The account investments can be placed in a broad, low-cost fund that tracks the S&P 500, growing tax deferred until the individual reaches age of 18. Distributions after age 18 would be taxed at the capital gains rate. Cruz's proposal comes as the U.S. national debt is more than $36.2 trillion and is likely to keep climbing. Every child in America will have a private investment accounts that will compound over their lives, enhancing the prosperity and economic participation of the vast majority of Americans. When people years from now talk about the changes created by Republican efforts, this Congress, this is one of the landmark achievements they will talk about, Cruz said, according to the press release. The House Ways and Means Committee is slated to mark up the one big, beautiful bill on Tuesday. The legislation under consideration includes a pilot program for providing $1,000 in MAGA accounts for children born during a certain period of time. What is powerful is enabling every child in America to have an investment account and a stake in the American free enterprise system, Cruz noted, according to Semaphore. All right, so let's get into hearing what Senator Cruz had to say himself about it. So right here it says, I commend Chairman Jason Smith and the House Ways and Means Committee for taking bold action by including a version of the Invest America Act in the upcoming tax bill. What does this mean? My legislation states that every newborn in America will receive a privately held savings account with $1,000 in it. There can be private contributions of $5,000 annually from friends, family, and employers. Too many young Americans are souring on our economic system. My proposal ensures every American can reap the benefits of our free market system. So let's listen to what Senator Cruz had to say. And let me ask you in the comments, what do you think about it? I think it's great. I think it's awesome. I think it helps, rebuild patriotism in America. I think it helps set young people off where rather than being in debt, you actually can have the money to be able to put a down payment on a house or buy yourself a nice vehicle or just not be as stressed out. Because you got a lot of children right now graduating high school and college that don't have anything but debt. And what this does, it also shows that America is investing in its youth and its future generations. Where Democrats want to cater to illegals, look at the difference. Democrats care about illegals and illegal children and what's going on with them. The Trump administration and the MAGA Republicans are focused on your children, on our children, on my grandchildren. That's what matters, and that's what counts. So in the comments, do you agree with it or do you disagree with it and think it's kind of like another form of socialism? I'd love to hear your comment. But let's get into this clip of Senator Cruz. If you enjoyed this video, do me a solid, hit that like button. I'll never ask you for a cash app. I'll never ask you for a super chat. You hitting that like button, it is currency. It'll spread the video around. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. On the Real Politics Podcast, that's what we do. We talk real politics. So once you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell and select all. That way, you'll be notified when I upload new videos.
This is a very exciting initiative that is moving forward because the House Ways and Means Committee just yesterday released the initial draft of their tax bill, and they included within it the idea Invest America that Brad has been working on for years, that Brad and I together have spent over a year working very hard to push it forward. The idea is simple, which is that we're going to create an investment account for every newborn child in America at birth. And that investment account, the federal government will seed with $1,000. But that account can receive every year up to $5,000 in contributions from friends and family members and from employers. And those contributions grow on a tax-deferred basis, and they can take it out after they turn 18. What it does is it takes every child in America and it gives them, number one, the miracle of compound growth, the ability to accumulate wealth, which is transformational. But number two, it makes them stakeholders. It gives them a stake in the American free enterprise system. And you asked how much they can save. If you have a baby that is born this year that starts with the initial $1,000 seed contribution over the next 18 years, if $5,000 a year is contributed at 7% growth, by the time they're 18, they have $170,000 in this account. By the time they're 35, they have $700,000 in the account. So I believe this will be a transformational policy. It's something Brad has built a big community of leaders throughout the business community who are enthusiastically supporting it. I've been pitching it to my colleagues in the Senate, my colleagues in the House, to the president, and I think we're going to get it done. And yesterday's House bill was a big, big step forward.
Wow. So as you see, the Republican Party they're not playing games. It's full steam ahead. And they're pushing the American First agenda, and right on. Kudos to them. I'm in full support of this legislation and the one big beautiful bill. In it, it's got the permanent tax cuts. In it, it's got the border security legislation that's needed and the resources going there to make sure the borders are secured for good by law. We got the Invest America Act there. So it's a lot of awesome things. And the Democrats are trying to downplay the successes. And then we got the China trade deal, the UK trade deal. I believe India one's coming next, and they'll just keep rolling and rolling. And I'm not sure if you saw the reporting. The economy, inflation is at a 4-year low. Prices are down, and the mainstream media finally had to admit that. They dreaded it. And I'll be doing a video on that here soon. But wanted to jump in and share this great news with you that America is jump-started again. And President Trump made a promise that this will be the greatest resurgence of a country the world has ever known. And this is looking like, with everything coming, America truly has the opportunity to be headed into the golden age. So if you watched to this point, thank you so much for staying in and watching. If you haven't already, hit that like button, leave a comment, tell me what you think, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, I want you to be safe and you stay great. I'm Brian Maxwell, saying I look forward to seeing you at the top. Over and out, y'all.